What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live right here at Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia. Another installment of Rubbin and Grubbin. Rubbin is racing, Grubbin is tasting. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. A little crappy weather out there, but we got a lot of stuff to go over, man. Got some history being made there in NASCAR again this past race at Talladega. Man, I tell you what, got a lot of fun-filled stuff to go over, but you guys know how we do it. We're going to start the show out with Rubbin and Grubbin's word of the day, man. So if you've never tuned in, first time tuning in, way we play, every time I say a word, I have no idea what the word is going to be. Lawrence is going to post it somewhere up here. Every time I say that word, you're going to take a sip of your favorite adult beverage during the show. Now, I always like to say this is age appropriate as well. If you're under the age of 21, go out, energy drinks, sweet tea, Kool-Aid, grab something sugary, man, throw it down. School night, stay up late, give your parents a little bit of hell, man. That's how we like to do it. So let's see. The word of the day last week was Harvick. So I know I got into that there for a while, especially with the beef between him and Elliott going down, and still really didn't leave him alone too much, man. So I know I said that. There again, this week's word is going to be, I have no idea. But every time I say it, drink, and I promise you, you're going to end up having a good time, man. So moving right along into NASCAR news, if you watched the race on Sunday, you already know Bubba Wallace wins the rain-shortened race there at Talladega, makes himself the only other African-American racer to win a race other than Wendell Scott, man. We got some more stuff coming up. Huge win right there, not only for himself, but also team owners Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan. Brand new team, got that first win under their belt. Got some more to talk about later on the show, man. Kind of a somber moment here, man. John West Townsley, former truck driver, killed in an accident, a domestic dispute up there in Athens. Right there around 5 Points, man. Happened pretty local. If you're a Dogs fan, you know. If you've been to Athens, you pretty much know where 5 Points is at. Brought a knife to a gunfight after the article I read. If you hadn't had a chance, go out and read the article, man. It's a little kind of crazy out there. But either way, at the end of the day, never like to see anybody lose their life, especially out of the NASCAR community. And, you know, son of the co-founder is Zaxby's, man. So, I mean, I always wonder where he got the sponsor. I always wonder where he got the money to do it. And that's where. So, father was co-founder of Zaxby's, man. But, yeah, sad news coming up there out of Athens, Clark County, man. Xfinity driver Michael Annett set to retire at the end of the season. I tell you what, the guy's been a really good staple of that series for a long time. Very consistent driver. Not necessarily going out and competing with the wins with the likes of the Gibbs and JR Motorsports and different big organizations and that tier of the sport. But I tell you what, he was always a staple, always, you know, very consistent in what he did, man. So going to be interesting to see who fills that ride or if they already got somebody coming over to fill it in, man. But at the end of the day, decent piece of equipment in that series for somebody to either revamp a career or start a career. Just got to wait and see how it goes, man. But thank you guys for tuning in so much. Like I always say, if this is the first time you guys are tuning in to Rubbin and Grubbin, go out, like, share, follow all our social media, man. We're on the gram. You can check us out on Facebook. You can got a YouTube channel, man, Rubbin and Grubbin. Definitely check that out. No G's on the end. Always keep it country around here. Like, share, follow, subscribe that, man. Like I say, the more people that we can get on that channel and the more people we get to follow us, the more money that we're able to raise for these charities and these events that we do here at Coach's Corner. That's ultimately what it's all about. So like I say, man, thank you guys for tuning in. Go out, like, share, follow all the social media, man. Tonight's going to be a little bit of a different night. Got a big crowd out here. They got some stuff going out back, man. I've already had a beer before I came on, so I'm going to let you guys know right now we're going to take a pause for station identification right here on Coach's Corner Sports Network, man. Cheers, y'all. Whew, they're going down too easy, I'm telling you. So, getting right into that playoff picture, man. We had some crazy stuff go down there at Talladega. The race was cut. You know, we got to the end of stage 2. You know, had a lot of guys kind of have some trouble, put themselves in must-win situations. If you've been tuning in the show, you know last week I talked about how important it was to have a really good race at Las Vegas, because the last thing you wanted was to go to Talladega already a little bit behind, because you can end up further behind. And I'll be damned if that's not what happened to quite a few guys. So, there again, first time tuning in, this is my swear bucket. Every time I say a cuss word, we're going to throw $1 in here for a charity of our choice this year for the Rubbin and Grubbin, and that's always helped save one of our own. We got some more coming up on that as well. But like I said, man, there's some big names finding themselves right around there on that 8th place, the cutoff, for this round of the playoffs. There's some guys that are in 12th and 11th that pretty much got to go out and have a must-win here coming into the Roval. And it's very difficult to do there. That is a very difficult race to go out in a must-win situation and put yourself to win it. So they got a big mountain to climb. But way it's looking right now after Talladega, nothing changed up top. Denny Hamlin right there in first. Had a great run. I mean, it's consistent all year. Consistency pays off, whether it be old point system, new point system. Doesn't matter. Wins might pay a little bit more, but at the end of the year when we get these playoffs, it's all about consistency. And right now, he's consistent, man. 2's Kyle Larson there again. Inside the top 10 there for a while in the first stage of that Talladega race. Got caught up a little bit, but at the end of the day, still second in points. 3rd going to be Joey Logano. 4th, Bad Brad Keselowski himself in the 2 car there. 5 is going to be Martin Truex Jr. in the 19. 6, Ryan Blaney. 7, the main man, Lil Bill, Chase Elliott right there in 7th place. 8th is going to be the Candy Man, Kyle Busch. So that pretty much ends that cut line. 9th is going to be Harvick. 10th, Christopher Bell. 11th, Willie the Kid Byron. And 12th, rounding it out, Alex the Showman Bowman. Man, I tell you, I hate it for both of those young stars over there at Hendrick. Bowman got 3 wins this season. We all know Byron locked it down there at Miami. Been running really good this year, but there again, like I said, I think the pit strategy they used at Las Vegas, Hendrick as a whole, really cost these 2 drivers a little bit more than it cost the other 2. And I tell you, man, it's going to be a hard rebound. One's 40-plus points, and Bowman's sitting 50-something points outside of that cut line. He's got to go out and pretty much win this race, man. The most interesting battle that we got going right now is going to be basically a 3-way tie from 7th down to 9th. So you got Chase Elliott, you got Kyle Busch, the Candy Man, and you got Happy Harvick, all tied being 9 points together. Elliott's basically 9 points ahead of Busch, 9 points ahead of Harvick, man. That's a very tight battle for that 8th place. So depending on who goes out and has a good run or a bad run, you might see one of them fall back. If one blows up, mechanical issues, wrecks out early, Christopher Bell might slide on in. And there again, if one of these guys go out and get a win in that must-win situation, they might bring it home and lock themselves in. So if you've been watching, you do know I predicted my 4 for the round of 8, and I had 3 really big names on that list. And I tell you what, one of them's sitting there now. One's in 8th. That maybe at least I can bat like 550% right. I had Christopher Bell selected out, but I definitely had Byron and Bowman both making it in, I'm pretty sure. Maybe one of them out, I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, man, right now I'm not looking too good. They're kind of locked up. There's guys. I had Bad Brad getting out. He's in 4th place. Don't see that happening. Just didn't think he had the consistency throughout the season. But I tell you what, he's ramping it up, man. So there again, got to stay tuned. See if it plays out good for me. See if I can get at least 2 or 3 of those guys out. And we'll talk about the round of 8 when we come back next week on Rubbin' and Grubbin', man. So moving right along into my favorite part of the show. If you've been watching, you guys all know I absolutely love Checkered Flag for Charity. That's pretty much the whole reason we do this show. I love being able to talk about NASCAR. I love being able to keep everybody up to date on news, giving my spin on it, drink some cold beer up here with a lot of comrades, a lot of friends, a lot of family. But at the end of the day, it's all about raising money for these charities that we do work for up here at Coach's Corner. So, like I said, this year it's Help Save, one of our own local-based, community charity. Basically, they're going to find families, help families in need. They've helped tremendously up here with different things. Randy Palooza, Becca Bash, on top of numerous other charity events and things that John and Adele Henderson put on up here at Coach's. I tell you what, like I said, if you've never, ever come up here at Coach's during some of these charity events and what they do, at the end of the day, they do a lot of good for the local community, man. And the best thing about Help Save, one of our own, is that all stays local. So there again, as you know, what we do is we donate whatever winning car number won that race into the pot. Happens to be this week, for the first time in a long time, it's over $20, man. 23 of Bubba Wallace won that race there at Talladega, man. So that's another $23 that we add into that grand total. And the grand total on the year is $3,639, man. That's really not too bad right here for some guys talking about racing. But I tell you all the time, none of that is possible without you guys, the support of the patrons here at Coach's Corner and the local community. So anytime you guys come up here, man, I say it all the time, talk to your waiter or waitress, your bartender, whoever, John and Adele, if you see them walking by, man, round that bill up to the nearest dollar amount, donate $5, donate $1. I say it all the time, nickels, pennies, dimes, 10s, 20s, 100s, 50s, does not matter, man. Just give some money, donate what you can. It all goes to a good cause. It all helps save one of our own, man. That's what it's all about, right? Local community, stays local, and helps families out in need, man. You know, and we always say, imagine if it was you, you would definitely want somebody to help you. So, you know, there again, cold beers, great food. When you're up here having a good time, donate a little something, man. Not only on top of great food and great beers, you're going to have a great feeling when you leave out of here. So, as I always say, man, make sure you come up and donate for sure. Before we get into my second favorite segment, we're going to pause again for station identification right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Hope you guys are having a good time tonight. Cheers, y'all. Whew. All right. So this next segment here, this week, pretty difficult for me to come up with, man, kind of writing some things in. We didn't really have a lot of telltale of who's hot and who's not type things, right? But that's what we're moving right along into. We're going to start out with who's hot. I'd be stupid if I did not put this guy first. And you got to look at Denny Hamlin in the 11, man. He seems to be riding this hot wave of coming into the playoffs. You know, there again, a guy that won 7 races last year, a lot of stage wins. You always looked at him this year as a top contender for that championship, and didn't have a win all the way through that regular season. But I'll be damned, as soon as we opened up that race right there at Darlington, wins it. We turn around, open up the round of 12, wins at Vegas. Guy's on fire, man. The guy's absolutely on fire. He's been bringing great equipment to the racetrack, unloading good, showing his dominance of running consistent. Had a great run right there at Talladega, finishing inside the top 10. Another streak while he's number 1 on this, and not so much Kyle Larson. At the end of the day, man, this guy has not finished outside the top 10 in any playoff race yet. So we're going on the 6-1, so 2 wins in the last 5 races, hasn't finished outside the top 10. At the end of the day, the guy is putting it on, man. And there again, consistency throughout the whole season, consistency and wins in the right time in the playoffs. Is he going to be able to finally get the championship? That's the biggest question for Denny Hamlin. Is he finally going to be able to lock down and win that championship? We saw Mark Martin, we saw numerous drivers kind of do the same type thing through a career. Don't know if Denny's going to be the new age Mark Martin, this generation Mark Martin or not, but at the end of the day, he always keeps putting himself there to contend for that championship. Just hasn't been able to go out and lock it down and win it yet. Maybe 2021's the year. We just got to wait and see. So I'm going to go ahead and put a name out here I hadn't had on this side of the list all season long, and that's going to be Brad Keselowski. Bad Brad, man. Not doing so hot, as I said, throughout the regular season. You know, got to win, but you expect him to win at least 2, 3 maybe, you know, during that regular season. Didn't necessarily show the consistency. Had a lot kind of behind scenes going on with that transition, leaving Penske and going to be, you know, not only a stakeholder, but a driver there at Roush as well. So, you know, had a lot of things going on throughout the regular season. Now we're down to the nitty gritty, and it seems like he's showing up. There again, we all know Talladega is his place. I mean, probably the best guy on the track at Talladega. Denny Hamlin, obviously, at Daytona. You can talk about them, 2 totally different style tracks, but we all know Bad Brad pretty much owns Talladega. Won there earlier in the spring, turns around, comes home second at Talladega this time. Just showing a little bit more consistency than what he did in the regular season. And I tell you what, when the playoffs start and it gets numbered down to 3 races and you eliminate, and 3 races you eliminate, it's not necessarily what you did all season long. It's what you do in that set of races. He's found a way not to put himself behind the 8 ball, to put himself sitting 4th in points. There again, like I said, guys running consistent, guys on the hot list, man. So moving into the other half, and that's the who's not. And these are guys that are struggling pretty bad as we got into it, man. Both the 48 and the 24 of Alex the Showman Bowman and Willie the Kid Byron there, man. Having you know, not so good playoff runs, man. Wishy-washy. Good one week, bad one week, and honestly, consistency pays off. So, you know, there again, they both got caught up in trouble there at Talladega. At the end of the day, I've said it once, I'll say it again, I really think the pit strategy that they pulled at Las Vegas put those 2 teams more than anybody else behind the 8 ball. You know, that's not easy to come back from, especially with the talent of race car drivers you're racing. It's not like you're racing 40 to finish 20th. You're racing pretty much the top 12 every week, and you've got to have good finishes. So when you finish outside that top 12 or below those other playoff drivers, you get behind the 8 ball either way. And they put themselves there with that bad strategy at Vegas. Now, there again, they're kind of both in must-win situations. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to go down. I think both of these guys are capable of going and winning that Roval race. If it plays out that way, we'll have to wait and see. But unfortunately, only one of them is really going to be able to lock themselves in, so somebody's going home. So that does kind of put the damper on my Hendrick Final Four. But at the end of the day, they gave it a strong run. Great season. Just got to see what they do, and got to have a win, man. Got to go out and get the win. So I just saw him, the man himself, Mr. Sean Erb, walk by, and his favorite driver, Candyman Kyle Busch. And I got him on the Who's Not list again, but it's not so much on the way he acted this time or anything like that. Honestly, it's just because I really don't care for him, so he's going to stay on the cold list till he goes out and wins and quits wrecking the damn race car. But he didn't blame anybody else this week or his team, which I did like that. But calm week for him. Gave a nice calm answer on his interviews, man. Got caught up in the wreck there at Talladega. Came home 27th. At the end of the day, I had him out of the top 12, not making the round of 8, and I really am praying that it holds true, man. Just saying. So, sorry, brother. But, hey, that's going to wrap it up for the Who's Hot and Who's Not. And that's probably somebody else's fault, too, other than his own. It's probably my fault, man. So, anyways, at the end of the day, got to give a big shout-out to my main man, Mr. Parker Eccles over there at Arbor Man Tree Service, main sponsor of Rubbin and Grubbin for me, man. I tell you what, the man does all kinds of amazing things, not only for the show, but also the charity events we do here at Coaches. And on top of that, the man owns a tree service, man, that does amazing work. So, there again, Arbor Man Tree Service. There's a number scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you give Parker a call. Like I say all the time, man, still heating up out there, somewhat hurricane season coming into the end of October. From here, you know, October, November, past couple years have been pretty wild for hurricanes, man. So if you're looking, you don't really know what you need, give Parker a call, come out, take a look, tree trimming, you know, need some limbs cut back off away from the house. Hey, man, he'll give you an estimate. Going to be fair, locally owned, locally operated. Man grew up here his whole life. Absolutely love him to death. As I say all the time, no tree too big, too small, no tree too tall. Make sure you give Parker a call, man. Love you, brother. Going to be giving you a call here soon, man, about that barbecue competition. We got that in the works as well. If you're watching, got a barbecue competition coming up sometime in the near future. Don't know exactly how near. Got to get the details lined out, but we're going to get that rolling, man. So, getting ready to start the next segment. There again, got to pause for station identification, and Atlanta man's running out of breath. I got to get some Bud Light in me, man. Thank you guys for tuning in again, and cheers, y'all. Oh, man. Now, this is a guy, I just got a note from my producer. This is a guy I absolutely love to death. Worked with this man for so many years right here. Mr. Frank Coleman out there watches Rubbin and Grubbin from time to time. Doesn't even care anything about NASCAR, but he always pulled for Kyle Busch just because it wasn't my favorite guy. And Frank Coleman said, Candyman is king. He's going to donate $50 for a cause, man. If I say it, oh, I'm not saying it. I'll say quoted by you, but I'm not saying it. We're going to hold off on that. I got to wait a little bit of time. And I got another surprise guest I hadn't seen in some time. We got Coach Carl DeMasi in the house as well, man. Telling you, Coach Carl finally back in the house. Absolutely love it. But I tell you what, love you, Frank, man. I'm going to give you a call tomorrow. We got to talk a little bit as well, brother. But moving right along into that Talladega recap. Classic normal Talladega, other than the fact it was rain shortened. We all know how that goes. Pack racing, bumper to bumper, pushing, getting the runs, blocking the runs. I tell you what, pretty good race there, man. A lot of big packs of cars. Never really strung out single file for too long. Absolutely love that new package that NASCAR made the adjustments to this year to put those guys together. A little more raceability, a little more handling in the race car, and I tell you what, it's paying dividends, man. You saw a lot of three-wide racing right there coming down to the end of the stages, especially in Stage 2. You know, we saw the accidents, as always. That's going to happen in Talladega. There's no way around that, honestly. It's just mistakes and things that happen. But at the end of the day, man, normal Talladega, good racing. So stage 1 ended right there with Chris Buescher, man, the 17, Roush Fenway, showing a little bit of speed in those forwards, man. And coming home with that stage 1, you know, sealing the deal, finishing first. And I tell you what, man, it pays big dividends right there for a smaller team, you know, like Roush. I mean, we talk about a smaller team at one time, so dominant, so many winning race cars come out of Roush, kind of rebuilding. And I think once Brad Keselowski gets over there, helps them get it lined out in a different thing, and I also think the next generation of race cars is going to help them tremendously. But a good run there for Chris Buescher to come home, you know, with that stage win. Right behind them, though, 2 normal players that you always know is going to run good at restrictor plate races, and that's Bad Brad and Joey Logano. Those Penske Fords, those 2 always seem to find a way to be up front regardless. So I tell you what, man, a good end to the first stage. Now, getting into the second stage, a little more eventful there. You know, we had Alex Bowman right there up front, and Ricky Stenhouse and Chase Elliott, and all those guys are lined up running. And 47 got the 48 a little silly. And I tell you what, man, that's just one of those racing deals. Freight train, you know, you can't kill momentum from behind. So when you're pushed, you got to push. Kind of gave him a good run, good bump. Caught him right there in a spot you really never want to catch anybody. We all know that if you watch the sport. And took Bowman out. Collected Kyle Busch, Truex, quite a few other guys got some damage from that wreck. But I tell you what, at the end of the day, just one of those racing deals. Not mad at Ricky Stenhouse one bit. Kind of came from behind him, through Elliott, through other guys. So not mad at him by no means. Just one of those classic Talladega racing deals. And there again, man, a little bit more excitement. You know, you had Ryan Preece messing up, wrecking out, taking Byron out, and also collected Matt Benedetto, which I hate for that team. Usually a guy that has showed some power over there being Penske affiliated in that Woods Brother 21. And we always like to see the Woods Brother do good in that 21 car. So there again, still a guy that's kind of up in the air for next year. Don't really know what's going on with that. Who's coming over, who's driving, who's coming up, who's going down. We really don't know, man. Silly season's still in effect coming into the end of the season. So I think it's something that Wood Brothers and probably Penske are going to talk about a little bit, deciding if maybe he stays, deciding if he goes, deciding on who comes over. But at the end of the day, 21 is a historic number in NASCAR, and you got to be privileged to drive it. Just got to kind of put some things together. I think as Matt Benedetto went on, we expected more out of him than what he was able to produce. There again, I think that's a little bit of, you know, kind of equipment issues there at Wood Brothers, not having the resources other than being affiliated with Penske and maybe sharing some technological things. But at the end of the day, man, I tell you what, this next generation race car, I feel like is going to at least shrink the field there for at least half a season, maybe a whole season. We all know big money, you know, money talks and bullshit walks. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what rule book you put these guys in. You pay top tier engineers to get you a 10th, a 1,000th, a 100th of a horsepower. That's definitely what's going to end up happening with the new gen car, regardless whether NASCAR manufactures parts or limited or not. They're going to become faster and faster as we go on. So anyways, at the end of the day, man, we all know what happened. Stage 2, Bubba Wallace comes home victorious for his first career Cup Series win. And like I said earlier, first African-American to win a race since Wendell Scott. But, you know, I'm not going to focus the basis on that. That's a big piece of NASCAR history. Congrats to him, man. I'm so happy that he's able to do that.
You weren't even around when
I wasn't even a thought. But what I'm going to propel that into... What I'm going to propel that into is you cannot take away the fact that the man raced his way up through that pack, played the right pit strategy, drove up front, made the right moves, put himself in the position to win as any other racer would do. So, man, don't take anything away from the man or the talent. Now, like I said, I think it's a huge booster, not only for him, being able to get that first career win off of his back. You know, he spoke openly about his mental health issues that he has and depression and certain things. And I think maybe not so much it was the fact of, am I good enough to do it? I think those were questions he probably asked himself. The question's answered now, man. You know that you're good enough to go out and get a win, whether it be rain shortened or not. I mean, at the end of the day, a win's a win. Doesn't matter if it was Ryan Blaney. We wouldn't be talking about, oh, it was rain shortened. At the end of the day, you won the race, man. That's all it's about. So I think it did really good things for him. But not only that, it also locked in Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan's first career team win as team owners. You saw Denny Hamlin being super excited about that. You saw Denny Hamlin, just absolutely indulging in the moment of, hey, man, I'm a team owner and I won a race as a team owner. Michael Jordan giving big congrats. Great sponsor there with Mickey D's, man, and McDonald's running it. Hey, I'm telling you right now, the one thing that I will say about Bubba Wallace that I think he really needs to improve on, is consistency, man. You got to get the consistency down week in and week out to be a competitor in the sport for championships or for race wins. So I think with Kurt Busch coming over, past series champion, 30-plus wins, I really think that maybe he kind of locks this young guy in and says, hey, man, this is how you do things week in and week out. This is how you kind of make yourself consistent. Don't push the race car. Don't make bad moves. Don't put yourself in positions to lose spots. A lot of things that can be learned from those two. But I tell you what, man, absolutely love the fact Bubba Wallace went out, got that win for them. And what a huge move and historic day for NASCAR there again. Like I said, locking that win in, man. And, man, Bubba Baker out there, my buddy watches the show, one of the staples of the Turn 2 crew. Those guys are huge Bubba Wallace fans out there, man. I was glad to see him get that win for them. Have always supported the man. Always shown support, always shown love. Love you, Bubba. Can't wait till March, man. I texted you yesterday about that win, and all he texted back was he said, I was disappointed I wasn't able to watch it, man. But like I said, raced himself there, won the damn race. That's what I'm talking about. Good job for him, man. So there again, moving right along, man, we're going to move into the Roval. Man, the Roval is a cutoff race, road course race, not a true road course. A little bit different, and we call them Rovals. You know, you're racing on the track. You're doing left and right turns like a normal road course race. But at the end of the day, man, you're on parts of Charlotte Motor Speedway as well, the normal track. So going to be a little bit crazy, and it is a tough race to win as a cutoff race in a must-win situation. So those guys that I mentioned to you earlier, gonna struggle pretty good, man. Track position is key. Pit road, you're only on it maybe twice the whole race. You cannot mess up not one bit on pit road. Do not give up that track position, man. Denny Hamlin starts from the Busch Pole Award right there. There again, you know, the way NASCAR is doing it this year, 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%, yada, yada, yada. At the end of the day, we got to get back to qualifying, single car qualifying, and at least an hour and a half, 1 hour and a half practice at every single racetrack we go to. And something else I want to talk about, I'm going to save for next week. I'm not even going to mention it right now, but it's got to do with the ARCA series. But at the end of the day, man, love this race. My main man, Chase Elliott, does good there. Maybe that's a little bit of reason why I love it. But at the end of the day, I think it's a good thing. Do I necessarily agree it should be a cutoff playoff race? Maybe not so much. Maybe I'd rather see it be earlier in the season. Obviously not the 600. Got to get some things figured out there. I don't know scheduling-wise. Got to have the Coca-Cola 600. That's a staple. But I really don't know about the playoff race for the Roval. I think it's neat, but I don't know. We got to revamp a little bit on that as well. But hey, at the end of the day, it's do or die for a lot of playoff teams. Like I said earlier, you got William Byron and Alex Bowman outside looking in, pretty much almost in must-win situations for themselves, man. So we'll see if those guys can go out, put the pedal to the metal, and lock down that win for their team and move into that round of 8. But like I said, you got to maintain positions here. There's a lot of guys that are teetering right there inside or outside. It can go either way really quick. You never know what's going to happen. One bad move, one bad pit stop, you find yourself outside that cut line, man. So right into the top 5 for this week, as if it's any kind of surprise. You see the number on the hat. You might as well go ahead and take the man, the myth, the legend, little Bill Elliott himself. I mean, he's the road course king right now, man. I mean, he's absolutely going out there and owning it, right? So, like I say, at the end of the day, you better take the 9 car right there. Mr. Chase Elliott is number 1 on that list, and you are real silly if you don't. Number 2 for me is going to be Denny Hamlin, man. At the end of the day, the guy starts from the pole. As I stated earlier, track position is going to be everything on this road course race. Been doing really good, maintaining it. Not too many mistakes on pit road. And there again, very consistent. Look for him to have a good run. Easily can go out and win this race. 3 for me, a guy that's had success there, and that's going to be Ryan Blaney, man. I think that out of the Penske cars, he's been kind of quiet. You know, we all look forward to Talladega and seeing what he had. Got in that second stage, made a couple wrong moves, chose the wrong lane a couple times, ended up 15th or 18th there. You know, not the run you would expect, but there again, rain shortened, a lot of racing left. But at the end of the day, I got him 3rd on my list. 4 for me is a guy that we never considered a road course racer until this year somehow, some miss, some way. Kyle Larson has found a way to win pretty much at any kind of road course or racetrack style you put him on. So I got to put the man, Kyle the Martian Larson, in 4th place, man, in that 5 car. The kid is absolutely dominating. Didn't have such a good run there at Talladega, not his forte. Maybe road courses aren't exactly his forte either, but he's had good, consistent finishes all year long on them. Look for him to have another one here when we get to the Charlotte Roval. 5 for me, Martin Truex Jr., man. Not hard to pick. The guy, there again, is really good on road courses. I think he always finds a way to put himself right there in the mix to have a really good run. So look out for the 19 car. Now, dark horses, got to be Ross Chastain. We saw him run really good, numerous road courses early in the season. Gonna probably have a good run here again at the Roval if he stays out of trouble. And I think the darkest horse pick is a guy that we actually saw win early in the season at the Indy road course, and that's going to be the 16 AJ Allmendinger. As you saw when we went to Indy, right things happen, right place, right time. The guy can absolutely flat out drive on road courses. Guy's going to get his finishing spot, man. So I think if you're betting money and you're taking odds and you want a long shot and make some money, 16 car AJ Allmendinger here coming into the Roval, man, is where you put that $100 bet and hope for the best, man. If you hit, you're going to hit big. I promise you that. So that's going to wrap it up right there for the Grubbin part. I don't even think it's quite ready yet. They're busy in here tonight. It might just be what it's going to be right now. Oh, no, it is. Oh, yeah, we're ready to go, man. So I do got a little hidden gem up here. No, it's not it. It's not it. Never mind. False advertisement. We might be skipping the Grubbin part tonight, but what it was at the end of the day was one of my favorites up here, man. Absolutely love it. You're going to have to wait. I'll expose it here later on, a little short video. You're going to have to tune into YouTube to catch the Grubbin part. It's coming, but you're going to have to catch the YouTube, man. So, hey, big shout out to Mr. PJ Zuko over there at 104.3 ESPN Coastal, man. I tell you what, he does a lot of great things. Green, white, checkered every Sunday morning, 9 to 9:30. You can catch PJ and myself breaking down all the newest NASCAR news that I missed out on Wednesday or dropped from Wednesday to Sunday. Such a great show. Didn't have one last weekend. Had some technical difficulties there at the station. Wasn't able to get that new show on. So this Sunday, make sure you tune in. We got a lot to talk about. That's every single Sunday morning, 104.3 ESPN Coastal. You can catch it on their Facebook live feed as well, man. 104.3 Coastal. PJ Zuko, Brandon Bain himself. Green, white, checkered. Make sure you tune in, man. Coach's Corner is also the official place to watch the dogs. Come on, man. We got Auburn this weekend. We straight laying the wood to folks. We killing them. We murdering them softly out there. God damn, man. Telling you, got to keep them dogs hungry, man. Got to keep it going, man. That's what I'm talking about. And better yet, if you've been riding down Victory Drive right here in Thunderbolt, Georgia, you also have seen that it is time. Those Braves made the playoffs. It's time for that TP to be set up right here. And I'm telling you, have never seen a TP like they got set up and building this year. John Henderson pulled all the strings out, man. We got to bring home this World Series. We got to chop hard. Y'all got to show up. Come check the TP out, man. We're going to be chopping it out all the time. And plus, on top of that, Sundays, you got your favorite NFL games live right here, Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, man. Oh, yeah, Coach is here, too. That's when you got to come through and catch Coach, man.
They don't let me grub like you guys.
They don't let you grub? Oh, come on, Coach. They got to talk them into it, man.
I buy my own pancakes, my own shrimp and grits.
Oh, man. That ain't right, Coach. I'm going to come and make sure you get some breakfast this Saturday, Coach. I'm coming to make sure you get some breakfast. Hey, like I say all the time, big shout out to all those shows right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. As I said, you got Coach Carl DeMasi himself, man, with that sports report Saturday mornings. Catch up with Kyle Larson. They talk everything baseball, everything local sports, high school, the Braves. Man, they throw it down so good. If you haven't seen it, make sure you tune into that show. There again, Travis and Spencer over there on the Hot Grits podcast. Them guys get a little wild. Not so much crazy as I get. They get a little wild, though. They talk about everything sports-wise, what happened through the weekend, a recap, and talk a little bit about their weekends themselves. 19th hole with the Herb brothers. I don't know where them boys are at. They've been MIA on Coach's Corner Sports Network. They're always in coaches, but they've been MIA on the network. We're going to get them tuned up here this next golf season when we hit back. A little Saturday recap and a Sunday, bettors market type thing. We're going to get those boys involved, man. But as always, like I say, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Every Wednesday, 6 till, I don't know, when I get done rambling on up here about NASCAR and different things. Rubbin and Grubbin, coming to you live, Coach's Corner Sports Network, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia, every Wednesday, 6 until. Hey, man, and like I say all the time, Make sure you guys go check us out on social media, like, share, follow, all of that. Man, give everybody a hug out there. Get vaccinated. Mask up. Stay safe. And I got to bring the bottle back because I keep forgetting it, man. But until I see y'all next time, love them. Stay safe. Wash your hands, man. Love y'all. Till next week.
Keep those britches on.
Oh, yeah.